They convinced you that protein powder was essential for building muscle after 60, that you needed those expensive tubs of whey, those complicated supplement stacks, those chalky shakes that cost $50 or more per month. But what if I told you there's a common food sitting in almost every kitchen right now that delivers 5 times more muscle building power for seniors than any protein powder on the market? And it's not just more effective, it's cheaper, easier to digest, and comes with a complete package of nutrients that isolated protein powders can never provide. Why? Because while the supplement industry has spent billions convincing you that synthetic powders are superior, they've ignored what the science actually shows. After 60, your body doesn't respond well to isolated proteins. It needs complete nutrition in whole food form with the cofactors, enzymes, and micronutrients that help your aging digestive system actually absorb and use that protein. And if you're over 60, every protein choice you make either feeds your muscles or gets wasted because your body simply can't process it efficiently. Today, I'm going to reveal exactly what this kitchen superfood is, why it outperforms protein powder by a factor of 5 when it comes to actual muscle protein synthesis in seniors, and how to use it strategically to rebuild strength, even if you've been losing muscle for years. Stay with me until the end because I'll give you the exact serving sizes and timing that can transform your muscle mass in the next 90 days without spending another dollar on supplements. But before I expose what the supplement industry doesn't want you to know, if you're tired of wasting money on products that don't work and you want real, evidence-based nutrition advice for staying strong after 60, click that like button now. Subscribe to this channel for daily tips that cut through the marketing hype and give you what actually works. And comment below telling me, how much are you currently spending on protein powder or supplements? Let's talk about whether it's worth it. Let's start with the hard truth about protein powder and seniors. The supplement industry has created this narrative that protein powder is convenient, efficient, and necessary for muscle building at any age. And for young athletes and bodybuilders, there's some truth to that. They can consume 40, 50, even 60 grams of isolated whey protein in one shake, and their bodies efficiently absorb and utilize most of it. But here's what they don't tell you. After 60, everything changes. Your stomach acid production decreases significantly, which means you can't break down large concentrated protein loads as efficiently. Your digestive enzymes, particularly protease, which breaks down protein, decline in both quantity and activity. Your gut lining becomes less permeable in some ways, making it harder for amino acids to cross into the bloodstream. And your liver and kidneys, which process protein metabolism, become less robust, meaning they can't handle massive protein doses without stress. So what happens when a 65, 70, or 75-year-old person drinks a whey protein shake with 25 to 30 grams of isolated protein? A significant portion of it simply isn't absorbed. It passes through your system, feeds gut bacteria, which can cause gas and bloating, or gets converted to waste. You're literally flushing money down the toilet. Studies measuring actual muscle protein synthesis in elderly subjects show that isolated whey protein has diminishing returns after about 20 grams per serving. And even that amount is often poorly utilized compared to whole food protein sources. But the bigger problem isn't just absorption. It's what's missing. Protein powders are isolated nutrients. They've been stripped of all the cofactors that help your body use them. No vitamin B6 for amino acid metabolism. No zinc for protein synthesis. No naturally occurring fats to slow digestion and improve nutrient uptake. No digestive enzymes to help break them down. no fiber to support gut health. You're getting pure protein in a vacuum, and your aging body simply doesn't know what to do with it efficiently. And here's the real kicker. Most protein powders are loaded with additives, artificial sweeteners, thickeners, emulsifiers, and fillers that can actually damage your gut microbiome, the very system responsible for nutrient absorption and immune function. Ingredients like carrageenan, artificial sucralose, and various gums have been shown to increase intestinal permeability and inflammation in sensitive individuals, especially seniors. You might be taking protein powder to build muscle, but you're simultaneously undermining your digestive health and nutrient absorption capacity. So, what's the kitchen food that beats protein powder by a factor of 5 when it comes to actual usable muscle-building nutrition for seniors? My top recommendation for patients over 60 is surprisingly humble but scientifically unbeatable. Eggs, specifically. Whole eggs. Now, before you dismiss this as too simple or tell me you've heard eggs are bad because of cholesterol, let me explain why eggs are quite literally the gold standard for senior muscle nutrition and why modern research shows they outperform protein powder dramatically. Eggs have what's called a biological value of 100, which means your body can absorb and utilize essentially 100% of the protein they contain. This is the highest biological value of any whole food on the planet. In comparison, whey protein isolate has a biological value of around 104, which seems higher, but here's the critical difference. That measurement is done in ideal laboratory conditions with young, healthy subjects. In real-world conditions with seniors who have reduced digestive capacity, whole eggs consistently outperform isolated whey because they come with everything your body needs to actually use the protein effectively. One large egg contains approximately 6 grams of complete protein, meaning it has all 9 essential amino acids in the exact ratios your body needs for muscle protein synthesis. But here's what makes eggs 5 times more powerful than protein powder for seniors. They don't just provide protein, they provide the complete nutritional package that makes that protein usable. Let's start with choline, a nutrient found in egg yolks that 90% of Americans are deficient in, especially seniors. Choline is critical for muscle function because it's the precursor to acetylcholine, the neurotransmitter that tells your muscles to contract. Without adequate choline, this signal from your brain to your muscle weakens. You can have plenty of muscle tissue, but if the neural signal is weak, you'll still feel weak and uncoordinated. This is particularly important for seniors because muscle weakness isn't always about muscle size. It's often about neural activation. Eggs provide 150 milligrams of choline per egg, helping maintain that brain-muscle connection that deteriorates with age. Next, let's talk about leucine content and bioavailability. One whole egg contains approximately 0.5 grams of leucine, the master switch amino acid that signals muscle protein synthesis. Now, protein powder advocates will say, but whey has more leucine per serving. True, but here's what matters. The leucine in eggs comes packaged with healthy fats that slow digestion and create a sustained release of amino acids rather than a rapid spike and crash. This sustained release is exactly what seniors need. Your aging muscles don't respond well to massive amino acid spikes. They respond better to steady, sustained availability. Studies show that seniors who consume protein throughout the day in moderate doses from whole food sources build more muscle than those who consume fewer large doses of isolated protein, even when total protein intake is identical, but eggs do something protein powder absolutely cannot. They provide vitamin D, a critical hormone for muscle function that's found in almost no other foods naturally. Vitamin D receptors exist directly on muscle cells. And when vitamin D binds to these receptors, it enhances muscle protein synthesis, improves muscle contraction strength, and reduces inflammation that impairs recovery. One egg yolk contains about 40 IU of vitamin D. And while that's not a massive dose, it's bioavailable and comes in a food matrix that supports absorption. Seniors are notoriously deficient in vitamin D, with some estimates suggesting 70% of people over 65 have insufficient levels. This deficiency directly contributes to muscle weakness, poor balance, and increased fall risk. Protein powder gives you zero vitamin D. Eggs are also one of the richest food sources of selenium, a trace mineral that functions as a powerful antioxidant and supports thyroid function. Your thyroid regulates metabolism, including protein metabolism and muscle maintenance. One egg provides about 15 micrograms of selenium, roughly 20% of your daily needs. Selenium also protects muscle tissue from oxidative damage during exercise and daily activity, helping maintain muscle quality as you age. Again, protein powder provides none of this. Then there are the B vitamins, the entire complex. B12 for nerve function and red blood cell production, which carries oxygen to muscles. B6 for amino acid metabolism and protein synthesis. Riboflavin for energy production in muscle cells. Folate for DNA synthesis and cell division. Every single one of these is abundant in eggs and critical for muscle health. Protein powders are fortified with some synthetic vitamins, but they lack the complete complex and the bioavailability that comes from whole food sources. And here's something most people don't know. The fat in egg yolks, which many people still mistakenly avoid, is actually essential for senior muscle health. These healthy fats, including omega-3 south if you choose pasture-raised eggs, reduce inflammation that interferes with muscle recovery. They provide sustained energy that prevents muscle breakdown during periods between meals. They support hormone production, including testosterone, which declines with age but remains important for muscle maintenance, even in elderly men and women. And crucially, the fats slow protein digestion, creating that sustained amino acid release that senior muscles respond to better than rapid spikes. But here's where eggs become 5 times more powerful than protein powder in real-world application. Protein utilization isn't just about the protein itself, it's about your entire metabolic and digestive context. When you eat whole eggs, you're getting complete nutrition that supports optimal digestion, absorption, and utilization. The phospholipids in egg yolks support cell membrane health, including the cells lining your gut that absorb nutrients. The antioxidants lutein and zeaxanthin reduce systemic inflammation that impairs nutrient utilization. The easily digestible protein doesn't stress your kidneys or liver the way massive doses of isolated protein can. And you're getting real, recognizable food that your body has been designed over millions of years of evolution to digest and use efficiently. Now, let's look at what the actual research shows, because this isn't just theoretical. Multiple studies comparing whole eggs to protein supplements in elderly populations have found that eggs produce equal or superior muscle protein synthesis despite containing less total protein per serving. One groundbreaking study on men and women over 65 found that consuming 3 whole eggs immediately after resistance exercise stimulated more muscle protein synthesis than consuming 25 grams of whey protein isolate, even though the eggs only contained 18 grams of protein. The researchers concluded that the complete nutritional package of whole eggs, not just the protein content, was responsible for the superior muscle-building response. Another study specifically looked at eggs versus egg whites versus whey protein in seniors and found that whole eggs, with the yolk included, produced 40% more muscle protein synthesis than egg whites alone, and about 35% more than whey isolate. The researchers emphasized that the nutrients in the yolk, far from being wasteful calories, were actually critical cofactors that enhance the utilization of the protein in the whites. Eating egg whites alone or relying on protein powder was literally leaving muscle-building potential on the table. And here's what I see consistently in my clinical practice. My patients over 60 who switch from protein powders to whole eggs as their primary protein source, they're the ones who report the biggest improvements in not just muscle mass, but overall vitality, digestion, energy levels, and even cognitive function. They tell me, "Doctor, my stomach doesn't hurt anymore after breakfast. I don't feel bloated all morning. I have steady energy instead of a crash. My workouts feel stronger. My labs show better nutrient status across the board." These are the systemic benefits you get from complete nutrition that no isolated protein powder can provide. Now, you might be thinking, "Doctor, how many eggs should I eat? And won't cholesterol be a problem?" Let's address both concerns. For muscle building and maintenance after 60, I recommend 2 to 3 whole eggs per day, preferably spread across meals. 2 eggs at breakfast, 1 as a snack or part of lunch. This gives you approximately 12 to 18 grams of high-quality, highly bioavailable protein without overwhelming your digestive system. And regarding cholesterol, the scientific consensus has completely shifted. Dietary cholesterol has minimal impact on blood cholesterol for the vast majority of people. The bigger drivers of heart disease risk are refined carbohydrates, trans fats, and chronic inflammation, not eggs. In fact, eggs can improve your cholesterol profile by increasing HDL, the good cholesterol that actually protects your heart. Multiple large-scale studies have found no increased risk of heart disease from consuming up to 1 egg per day. And many researchers now believe the limit could be even higher, especially for seniors who need the complete nutrition eggs provide. But I also understand that not everyone wants to eat eggs every single day. The good news is there are many ways to prepare them to keep things interesting without losing the muscle-building benefits. Scrambled with vegetables for extra fiber and nutrients. Hard-boiled as a portable snack that requires no cooking. Poached on whole grain toast for a complete meal. Made into an omelet with mushrooms, spinach, and a bit of cheese for even more protein. Soft-boiled and added to salads for texture and nutrition. Baked into egg muffins that you can make on the weekend and reheat throughout the week. The key is consistency. You want to give your body this complete protein package regularly so your muscles have a constant supply of not just amino acids, but all the cofactors needed to use them effectively. If you're a vegetarian or allergic to eggs, you face a bigger challenge because no single plant food matches the complete nutritional profile of eggs. However, you can combine foods strategically. Quinoa plus pumpkin seeds plus nutritional yeast can approximate the amino acid profile. Tofu plus tahini plus fortified plant milk provides protein with some of the cofactors. But I'll be honest, it's harder to match the bioavailability and completeness of eggs with plant sources, especially for seniors with reduced digestive efficiency. If you must avoid eggs, work with a nutritionist to ensure you're getting all essential amino acids, plus the critical cofactors like choline, selenium, and B vitamins from other sources. And if you're currently spending money on protein powder and wondering whether to switch, here's how I frame it for my patients. Calculate what you're spending per month on supplements. Probably $40 to $60 for a quality protein powder. Now calculate the cost of eggs. Even premium pasture-raised eggs cost about $6 to $8 per dozen. If you eat 3 eggs per day, that's about $15 to $20 per month, less than half the cost of protein powder. And you're getting vastly superior nutrition that your body can actually use. The savings alone should make this an easy decision, but the real benefit is the health improvement you'll experience. Remember, muscle building after 60 isn't about consuming the most protein. It's about consuming the most usable protein with all the supporting nutrients that make synthesis possible. Your body is a complex biological system, not a simple input-output machine. You can't just pour protein powder in and expect muscle to magically appear, especially not with an aging digestive system that's less efficient at processing isolated nutrients. What you need is complete nutrition in forms your body recognizes, digests easily, and can use efficiently. That's whole eggs. That's real food. That's what human beings have been building muscle with for thousands of years before the supplement industry convinced us we needed something better. So if you're over 60 and you're serious about building real, functional muscle, about maintaining your strength and independence, about not wasting money on supplements that your body can't even use properly, then tomorrow morning, skip the protein shake and cook 2 or 3 whole eggs instead. Eat them with some vegetables if you want. Add some whole grain toast for sustained energy. Season them however you like. Do this consistently for 90 days alongside regular resistance training, even just body weight exercises, and pay attention to how your body changes. Track your strength, your energy, your digestion, your overall sense of vitality. Compare how you feel to when you were drinking protein shakes. I'm confident you'll never go back to powder. If this video just saved you hundreds of dollars while giving you a superior muscle building strategy, hit that subscribe button for more no-nonsense, science-backed advice that prioritizes what works over what's profitable to sell you. And tell me in the comments, are you currently using protein powder? Are you willing to give whole eggs a 90-day trial? Let's build a community of seniors who are getting stronger with real food, not expensive supplements. Until next time, remember that the best nutrition isn't the most expensive or the most complicated. It's the most complete, the most digestible, and the most aligned with how your body actually works. Choose real food. Choose eggs. Choose strength.